Hi everyone, my name's Lucy Wright. I'm a National Marketing Director with the Juice Plus company. I've been a part of the company now for just over 6 years. Can't believe it, it's gone so quick. But I am really lucky tonight to be interviewing Julia. So Julia Norton has an amazing story which is absolutely going to blow you away, and you're going to get loads and loads of tips from it as well. I caught up with Julia earlier on today and I already feel inspired. So she's got lots to share with you. So get your pads ready. Julia has been around a little bit longer than I have, since 2013. And I'll let her share her story properly in a minute in more detail. But she flew to QNMD really quickly. And the next part of her story, I know that all of my team who are on this call listening will relate to, so I'm sure a lot of you will. So I'm going to hand over to Julia. Julia, if it's all right to just share your story with everyone to begin with, please.
Yeah, sure, I will do. Is everybody muted because people are flashing up on the screen?
I'll mute everyone apart from us. You're going to have to unmute yourself after, Julia, if that's all right.
Hi everybody, how is everybody? Thank you so much for that introduction, Lucy. It's the first time we've actually spoke today, isn't it? Yeah. Now, before I share my Juice Plus story with you, like Lucy said, hi Shavina, I've been with the business now, with the company for 7.5 years. I keep saying 7 years, but half a year's gone so quickly. Before I share my Juice Plus story with you, I'm going to share something with you that I've never ever shared before in 7 years. I'm going to share a little backstory with you. It's going to be very quick. And during COVID and during lockdown, I've been doing a lot of soul searching myself. I've been doing a life coaching course and stuff like that. And I'm just going to share something with you that I've never shared on stage. I've never shared it on a Zoom. And I'm just going to say it just because of it, what people have been going through COVID. And if you think you're in a situation that you can't get out of, I want to be the person here to tell you that you will get out of it. Like if you've been in a domestic relationship or abuse or anything like that, that's been breaking my heart through lockdown, thinking about people. So I'll take you back to the year 2000. I became a fitness instructor. I was happily married. I'd been in corporate for 12 years. I had a really good job, but I was juggling 4 children under the age of 8 at the time when I was working corporate. And I decided to become a fitness instructor because it was too much working full time, the 4 children. And I was just like on a merry-go-round with them. So I decided to become a fitness instructor. Now, 3 years after that, I ended up getting divorced. Yeah, I ended up getting divorced from my husband. It was an amicable divorce. It was really friendly. We never argued in front of the children. We never argued about money. It just happened. We just grew apart. That was it. I think it was because I changed careers and I was working with him in corporate. We was in each other's pockets, and I don't know. Anyway, we never fell out. The 4 children have all excelled, all done really extremely well with degrees and everything, really good jobs. Anyway, that's another thing. But when I got divorced, I met up with a complete and utter rebound narcissist. And this is, I've never shared this. I'm really going out of my comfort zone here. And if you've ever been with a narcissist, you know that they abuse you mentally, physically, verbally, and they are just vile. And I never thought I was going to escape him. I've never come across it before in my life. And I don't know where I got the strength from, but I think it was in my 4 children and the support from my ex-husband. And I managed to get rid of him. And then 4 months later, I found out I was pregnant. And I was like, oh my God, like he'd kind of been told that he couldn't have children and stuff. And it was just a complete and utter nightmare. I thought, what the hell am I going to do? What am I going to do? But he was 36 years old, never had children, didn't think he could have them. And I was in this position where I thought, I'm just going to have the baby on my own. So I just decided to have the baby on my own. I moved into this house 17 years ago. This is my sanctuary, this house. I moved in here 17 years ago, 8 months pregnant, no furniture at all, not even a light bulb, just a flat hanging down from the ceiling because it was a brand new building, nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I thought, how the hell am I going to get through this? I've gone from this marriage with loads of money, with children been all around the world, to suddenly having to pay bills, pay a mortgage, and pay stuff like that. This is just a very quick story because it goes into where I am now. And so I finished work 5 weeks before I gave birth, and 10 days before I gave birth, and I went back 5 weeks later. And with all my other children, I got 6-7 months maternity leave. I could either go on benefits or I could work my ass off. and I decided to work my ass off and be an inspiration to my children as well. Anyway, a couple of years after that, I met my lovely husband, who I've been with now for 13 years. So if you're a single parent, you think no one's ever going to want me. Well, I've got 5 children. I have got a gorgeous husband now. We're really happy together. We've been together for 13 years. But let's go 9 years ago. 9 years ago, I decided to leave all the health clubs because we still weren't getting a pay rise. I was burnt out. And I decided to get a church hall where everybody would pay me £5 per class. So all this money started coming in, and it was great. And I was like, this is absolutely brilliant, you know, rather than getting no pay rise for 21 years. And then 7 years ago, a lady started coming to my fitness classes, pestering me about Juice Plus. And I was like, Juice Plus, I can't put my name to a juice diet. I've been teaching this industry, like running the top health clubs, for like 15 years. Are you having a laugh? And she's still pestering at the end of every class. And I thought, who is this woman? So I looked her up, and it was Dr. Sue Bates. I don't know if she's on the call or not. And I thought, oh, right, maybe I should listen. Maybe she knows what she's talking about. And she had an in-home event at her house. Now, after COVID, you might want to have some in-home events at your house if you're having online ones now. That's how I built my business, in-home events. That's how I got to QNMD so quickly. Anyway, I got the products off Sue. I absolutely love the products. I got the energy that I needed, started naturally recommending them to people, sending them to Sue, thinking I didn't have time to do the business. And she said to me, "You're doing it already, Julie, you're doing it already." I goes, "No, I haven't got time, I haven't got time, I haven't got time." And then one day I decided to go to an event at the Reebok Stadium, because what happened was in 2013, my son went and joined the military. One daughter went to Dubai, one went to uni, one went to college, and one was at school, and Jay was working away. And I was sat at home on my own watching Housewives of Atlanta. I thought, how can you say you haven't got time? So I went to the event at the Reebok Stadium, and I signed up straight away. I listened to all the stories. And if you're new, if you joined during COVID, you haven't seen the bigger picture yet. You haven't been to an event. Like, there was 500 people at this event at the Reebok. And, you know, it's just a sea of positive people sharing their stories, their business and the product stories. And I was like, I'm in for £300 a month. I don't know why I picked that figure. And I remember saying to Sue, what should I be like now? And she went, just be yourself. And I was like, oh yeah, like, let's just be yourself. And it's really, really important to be authentic and be yourself. Like what I've just shared with you, I've never shared that before, but it's important to be authentic and share your backstories as well, because you never know who you're going to inspire. So yeah, like Lucy said, I flew to QNMD, and it was July the 1st, 2014. And then a lot of other companies were coming along. And I don't want to mention other companies, but don't be distracted by other companies, right? I've never once been distracted. I've never been tempted, right? Get them blinkers on. There's no better company. There's no better company than the Juice Plus company. And back when I started, if you found head office, you was on hold for an hour and then you got cut off. Products were taking 2 weeks to arrive. Like, we've got everything in place now. The warehouse in the UK, that was in Germany. We've got the call center. We've just got everything we need here with this company. So do not get distracted, because I look at all the people that left my business and they would have been NMDs by now. So it was only during COVID, actually, Lucy, that my fitness business got closed down, completely closed down. And I thought to myself, you know what? I've got an opportunity here to build myself a bigger global online business, all those new countries we're shipping to, and I'm just going to get to work on it. I'm going to stop treating it like a hobby, like, because when I got to that nice 4 figures a month as a side income, that's a really nice side income on top of your fitness business. I got really, really comfortable with that as well. I'll admit, I got really comfortable with that. I mean, like, COVID kicked me up the arse, basically. And I thought, right, I've been Miss Independent my whole life. I'm not going to go to my husband and say, oh, I need some money. Absolutely over my dead body. So I thought, I've got an opportunity here, and I'm going to make this into a big, huge global business and get to NMD. And that's exactly what I did.
Did. So you did it in July last year, didn't you? Exactly. Yeah. How many years after you went QNMD was it?
Oh, God, to the exact day. 6 years to the exact day. I went to QMD on July the 1st. I remember getting a phone call from Simon Bowler. I was walking around Sainsbury's at the time, and he was saying, well, don't forget on QMD. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And everybody needs to remember that saying. It is a marathon, not a sprint. You've got to stay in for the long term. Don't give up. Oh my gosh, I met some people recently online that started Juice Plus during lockdown and they've given up already. Don't give up. Like, you've got to play the long game, because now I've got this big, such a wide, long business that if a leg drops off now, it doesn't really bother me. Do you know what I mean? Try and build wide and get it to duplicate down. You want a strong, wide business, and build under your nose first of all before it grows. Build local before global is what I'd say as well. Yeah, so 6 years to the day, can you believe it? And I knew I was going to NMD. I could feel it coming. And I sent Simon Bowler a voice note. I said, I'm going to NMD 1st of July. And I did. So put a date on things as well.
So I think when we spoke earlier on, you really inspired me, because I know a lot of people say to me all the time, you know, I feel, and I know we hate the word, but people say, I feel stuck. I'm at a certain position, you know, and I can't seem to get to the next one. And I know it's not all about positions, but actually when you need the business, like you needed it last year more than you needed it in previous years, right? Because you'd lost your other income. So that almost, well, that drove you, didn't it, to say, right, I'm going to treat this as a business. I'm going to pull my socks up. And you went from QNMD to NMD quickly again because you decided. So I love that. That really inspired me earlier when you shared that with me. Have you got any, I guess, tips or anything you want to say to people who might be on the call who feel like they're stuck at a certain position?
Yeah.
Say to them.
Well, one of Emma Snedden's sayings that I first heard years ago, how can you be stuck? You're not a tree. Move. Just do something different. Like, just move. Do you know what I would say? Reconnect with your why. That you have to know what your why is. And how many people worked really hard on the free weekend? On that free weekend, on that bonanza weekend, how hard did you work? Do you work hard like that all the time? I want you to think about your why, right? So my why when I first started was my daughter. She had a different dad to the other children. I always felt guilty about it. I always felt guilty that I went back to work so soon after I had her. And I had mum guilt so much. I did it for her. And for her 13th birthday, I managed to get Disney World Florida tickets and surprise her and put them in a birthday card. Because all my other children had all been to Disney and places like that, and she'd never done anything. And they dropped out of her card. Now, it's not just visualize. I wasn't just visualizing your why. It's feeling it. What does it feel like? What does it feel like? What is your why? Is it to pay off debt? Is it to buy a house? Is it to buy a new car? Is it to help people? Think of that, but not just visualize it. How does it feel? How does it make you feel? Like, it needs to be really strong. You need to reconnect with it. And when you feel stuck, that'll just get you going again. Like, if you've had a promotion already, what did you do to get to that promotion? Just do it faster and harder. And remember, you don't need team members in this business. You need leaders. Right? You're going to come across people that do nothing. You're going to come across people that just want it and get it just like you do, but you've got to keep digging for them. So the main thing, Lucy, I'd say is just remember your why. Make sure you've got it written down. It could be on your screensaver, and that can change. That my why changed. My daughter moved from Dubai to Australia, and I wanted to be there for the birth of my grandson, and it was in January, just before COVID. And I thought, there's no way I can go in January. I've got my fitness business. Like, that's the busiest time of year. And I said, you know what? Yes, I can. Because Juice Plus, I can take wherever I want. And I actually built my business in Australia while I was there. But I got to see my grandson, my first little grandson, because of Juice Plus. And I'll be forever, ever grateful for that, because 2 months later, we was shut down. The whole country and the whole world was shut down. And I got to see him and meet him. And I like to think that he recognises me on FaceTime.
Amazing. So pretty much without Juice Plus, you wouldn't have had those choices or been able to, you just wouldn't have had those choices, would you, at all? No. It's not all about the money, it's about the choices, isn't it? The choices that the financial side brings for you. So I absolutely love that.
The time freedom, Lucy, it's the time freedom, right? I've never worked from home before. I've been the busiest person like everybody else. 5 children, school run, cooking, cleaning, husband, cat, everything, right? COVID's made me work from home, and I thought, oh my God, I like this. I didn't think I'd like being at home, working from home. And I have so much time freedom on my hands, right? And my husband can't even say anything to me. He can't even say, like, you need to go and get a job, or you need to do that. Like, he just says to me things like, oh my God, Julie, you're so lucky to have your Juice Plus business. Oh my God, you are so lucky. Or we are so lucky, or whatever, you know. And I'm just so grateful. Makes me feel emotional, actually, because I can't believe I'm actually sat here through the whole COVID with a full-time salary coming in every single month. Whereas I could have been absolutely on my arse driving for Amazon or something like that.
Well, I mean, you, along with everybody else on this call, have made the decision to actually not watch the England match tonight and to actually do something to build your business. And it's those decisions along the way that I find actually make a difference in the long term. And it was something that you and I spoke about earlier on as well, is comparing to others. And how easy is it when you've been part of this company for a long period of time to, you know, look at the way we used to do things and look at the way that things are done now, and almost compare yourself to other people, not just in the Juice Plus company, you know, people who are doing really well and being successful, but people online in general. It's so easy for us, isn't it, to just compare and look. So is that something that you've ever struggled with, or is that something, I know that you're quite passionate about that, aren't you? You don't like comparing to others, do you? So talk about that.
I really don't like comparison. I do put quite a lot of posts up about that as well. I put one up yesterday, like that person that you're looking at and you're thinking, wow, she's really got her shit together, she's really this. Someone's looking at you thinking the same thing about you. Right, so you mustn't compare yourself. I remember when Alex Webb, bless his heart, was still alive, and he was mentoring a few people, and he was getting them to phone me, and I was having phone calls with them and stuff. And then I watched them go to the NMD before me. I was like, no, they can't go to NMD before me. But actually, I was really pleased for them. Like Kellyanne came in, she's one of my bestest friends. I love her to bits. Lynn came in, and I thought, you know what? They're on their journey. I'm on my journey. I'm going to get there when it's my time to get there. They're getting there when it's their time. And what I love about this business is, like, comparing yourself to someone else is just the worst thing that you can honestly do. Comparatinitis, they call it, don't they? It's the worst thing. Hey, Kellyanne. And you just got to, I like this business because, to me, I've never come across any bitching. And I love that. You know, everyone's got each other's back. Everybody's rooting for each other. Everybody celebrates. Everybody's promotion and win. And that is another thing that I love about it. So please, please don't compare yourself to anybody else, whether it's in Juice Plus or whether it's out of Juice Plus. And like you said before, I didn't even know the England match was on tonight, but I gave up watching TV. And I heard a saying the other day, there's no NMD in TV, and you need to remember that, because there really isn't. That's the first thing that I changed. I just stopped watching the soaps. I thought I'd never stop watching the soaps. That was my little guilty pleasure, you know. But, you know, watching soaps is not going to build you a global business. Listening to the radio in the car is not going to build you a global business. Like, listen to mindset things. Listen to, you know, Tony Robbins or whatever you find inspiring in your car. Right? Next time you listen to Key 103 or whatever it is, remind yourself it's not going to pay your bills and stuff like that.
I actually, I did the same when I started. I thought, God, you know, I haven't got time for this business at all. And I said no to my upline, Hayley, for about 4 months, maybe even longer. I was that person that was really, really busy, thought I was the busiest person in the world. And actually, I still made sure I had time for EastEnders, always. So how can you be the busiest person in the world? And honestly, since 2015, I've not watched an episode. I couldn't anyway now, because I wouldn't have a clue what was going on. But it's just making those choices, isn't it? And just being consistent with them. So yeah, I can really, really relate to what you're saying. And I only know the England match is on because my husband's gone out for it. So I'm free to work this evening. So it's all good, all nice and easy for me. But yeah, you was also talking to me earlier on, Julia, which I absolutely love, you was talking to me about your fitness business and how you fit this in around doing that now, because obviously everyone's come out of lockdown, COVID, all of that situation last year, when your business closed down and you built Juice Plus, and then all of a sudden everyone suddenly realized, right, I've put on some weight. So how have you used the two? How have you worked it together since then?
It's perfect, right? I saw this happening as well. I actually saw what was going to happen. And some of the girls on the call might have done it with me. We've just done the life coaching accreditation and stuff like that as well. So we've also had this another string to our bow. And I saw this happening and I thought, you know what? I'm going to make my plan B into my plan A. And when my church hall opens again, which was only last week, because it's been closed for 16 months or something, I'm going to have my fitness business. I've just got to accept that that is going to be my plan B now. And I'm going to teach, like, that's going to be my hobby. Because if I want to get my fitness business back up and running again, I'm not prepared to go and work for £20, but you got a health club 20 years ago. I'm not prepared to go and do leaflet drops, newspaper ads. And you know what? And I'm going to be honest with you, December 2020 was the first December that I haven't gone out to work in my church hall or worked in a club for 21 years. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I was cozy. I was like doing the Christmas tree. There was no stress. And I thought, you know what? I'm never working in December again. And in fact, I decided last week, I'm never working an evening again. So I've kind of swapped the two and I love it. I absolutely love that Juice Plus is now my plan A. Not only that, we can do a bit of life coaching with that as well. Now we've done the course, and fitness is just going to be my hobby. It's a bit of a bitter pill because that's my passion. You know, it's been my business for 21 years, but I've just got to accept it. You know, things happen like this at times.
But because you enjoy it so much, you can, as you say, still continue the fun side of it rather than the stress side of it and building it up as a business. Quite a few people do that with Juice Plus, don't they? My sister, for example, she is a primary school teacher, absolutely loves it. Got to SSC and decided, actually, I don't want to give up teaching. So she just went part-time instead of being full-time. So it's kind of like what you've done with this, really. You've swapped, haven't you? So it's amazing, the choices.
There is a transition period as well. So what I would say is don't give up, right? And don't tell yourself that you haven't got time. You will find time. You will use the toilet system if you need to. Just post on the toilet, post on your lunch break. If it's not a priority to you, you won't find the time. Right. But I say to my team that work full time, use a toilet system, just use a toilet system. You know, you've got time, everyone's got time. And don't overestimate what you can do in a short space of time. And don't underestimate what you can do over a long period of time. Right. 7 years to me, they call it the 5-year career. 7 years to me is not a long time. I say to my team now, a lot of my team are young. How old will you be in 5 years' time? In 5 years' time, how old will you be? You can have time freedom, financial freedom. You can be debt free. You could be living your life how you want to live it on your terms in 5 years from now. And I bet everybody in this call will still be young. I bet I'm the oldest one on the call. I always wanted to semi-retire at 50, about 55, and I'm 53, and I class myself as semi-retired, and I love it.
Brilliant. And it's such a good way to think about things. How old will you be in 5 years? Stop worrying about all of the little things, comparing and all of that, and actually just look at your journey from now to 5 years' time. Where do you want to be? What do you see your life like? And actually, how old will you be? And just get on with it, really, is what you're saying. I love that. Thank you. Yeah. It's brilliant.
You know, through COVID, I thought about when I was with that narcissist. Obviously, I've got my youngest daughter that reminds me of that every day. I think back then, and I think, you know what? He's still in the same place. And I just think I've got my own home. I've got a lovely husband. I've got no debt. I've got time freedom. I've got financial freedom. I've got 5 really successful children. My youngest daughter's just done all the GCSEs. And, you know, I think I'm just so grateful all the time. You know, I'm just really am. Think about when you've been rock bottom, you can come back. You will get out of a rock bottom situation, but you must never give up. You never give up on yourself, never give up on your children, never give up on this company and this business, because I'm telling you now, they're doing everything they can for us to be successful. They really are.
I love that. Thank you so much, Julia. I really, really appreciate everything you've taught me and taught the whole team today. So it's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the recording